Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, we're from 11 Science 1 Team 29 are going to discuss about modal verb. Before we talk about modal verb, we should know about our team member first. So, the team member are Adri, Triadhi, Mujahid, Maria Dewi, Rasrendra, and Raisa, Sabrina, and Rizka Nur Haliza. So, without further ado, let's go to the discussion. The first thing we need to know is what modal verb is. So what is modal verb? Modal verb is a helping verb or an auxiliary to express possibility, necessity, ability, and permission. And then what is the difference between modal verb and auxiliary? So, modal verb are usually used or followed to infinitive, but we don't use word to in a modal verb. So for example, if you want to say, I should go to America, we don't say, I should to go to America because it's so weird to say. And then for another example is, I should meet them. We don't say, I should to meet them because it sounds weird either and it's not the right form of it. And then to be more specific, there's 5 functions of modals. The first one is expressing possibilities. If we might know about something might happen, we should say it with modal verb. And then for the second one, there's expressing permission and obligation. The next one is expressing ability, and then expressing willingness, agreement, and asking a request to people. And then the last one, but not least, to express certainty and giving advice to people.
How to use modals? First, to express possibilities. Rizka might tell her friend, so Rizka may tell her friend or she may not tell her friend. The second one, to express permission, whether you're allowed to do something or not. May I go to the toilet, please? Yes, you may. Do you have a name or can I call you mine? The third one, to express past permission. On Sundays, we could stay up all night, so we change can as could is a past verb for can. The last one, to express ability. 10 years ago, my brother could speak only one language, but now he could speak more than one language. The second one, shall and will, to express request or offer something. Here, I have a meme from Cinderella, you shall not go to the ball. So basically, Cinderella cannot go to the ball. The second one, to express agreement. I will do wherever you think the best. Will you do it for me? The last one, to express strong determination. Whether you're about something, I will do everything for you. I will pass this exam. Like you're sure you will do it. So we can use will if you're really sure about something. We use the previous one whether you're not sure about something like may or might. Next, we have should, ought to, and must. To express certainly, like 100% correct, every country must have its own flag. Express advice, you ought to read this, you should go to the doctor. So it makes the sentence more polite if you don't use this model, like go to the doctor, read this. I don't think the other person will do the thing that you just said, and it just seems kind of rude though. To express unavoidable obligation or condition which cannot be changed, like you must do it. One must eat to live. If you don't eat, you will die, obviously. We must obey our parents. Well, if you don't obey your parents, you know what will happen next. Last one, to express avoidable obligation or duty. You should pay your debt, you should save some money. The last one, would, need, dare, and used to. We can use would to invite someone or basically offer something. Would you like some tea? Would you like to join us? The second one, need or dare. So you need to do it. Like you have to do it. If you're not doing this, something bad will happen or you will get the consequences. And dare. She dared to speak the truth. She's really brave to say the truth. The last one, to express past habit. We use used to. I used to go to school on foot. Now I go to school by car. So back then I used to walk to school. But now I don't walk to school anymore.
So actually, modal verb can use in past activities. This is the function of modal verb in past activities. The first one is to talk about unfulfilled obligation. The second one is to make deduction about the past. The third one is to speculate about the past. And the last but not least is to talk about past ability. So this is modal of advice from the strong to the weak. The strongest one is must. In the second letter, we have had better, and then we have ought to, and then we have should, and the weakest is could. So now I will explain about the structure of modal verb. In this case, we have two structure of modal verb, in active and in passive. So this is structure of modal verb in active. So the general structure of modal verb in active is subject, modal verb plus infinitive. And if we want to make in affirmative or negative or interrogative, we have to use this structure. In affirmative, we can use subject plus modal verb plus infinitive. In negative, we have to put not after modal verb, like this. He must not stay. Must is modal verb and not is for negative. And for interrogative, we have to invert between subject and modal verb. You can see the example here. Why must he stay? So this is the structure of modal verb in passive. The general structure of modal verb in passive is subject plus modal verb plus be plus past participle. It means we have to use verb to. And in this case, we have three forms: in present, past, and future. The different things between the three of these is in present we have to use be, in past we have to use have been, and in the future we have to use being. So if we want to make in affirmative, negative, or interrogative, we have to use this structure. In affirmative, we have to use subject plus modal verb plus be plus past participle, like this example. She will be gone to the market. Gone is verb 3 from go. And if we want to make in negative, we have to put not after modal verb, like this example. She will not be gone to the market. And if we want to make in interrogative, we have to invert between subject and modal verb, like this example. Will she be gone to the market?
Okay, so what is quasi-modal verb? Quasi-modal verb are subcategories of modal verbs that possess some but not all grammatical properties of prototypical modals. The quasi-modal verbs consist of 4 modals. 1. Ought to, 2. Used to, 3. Would rather, and 4. Had better or best. The characteristic of this modal is that it lacks tense and non-tense forms. Meaning, for example, we pick ought to as an example. Ought to does not go ought to. It means that it doesn't have the past simple. It only has the present simple tense. Now, the quasi-modals are periphrastic modal auxiliary verbs, meaning a quasi-modal verb consists 2 materials that merge together to have one meaning and function the same as the modals. Now let's get more specific. Ought to is to express an obligation or an expectation. For example, you ought to listen carefully. It is an obligation. People ought to be a bit nicer to us. It is an expectation. Next, ought to also to express regret over something. I ought to have spoken up earlier. Last but not least, ought to is used to express the likelihood of something happening. For example, Annabelle ought to be here by now. Now, to make the sentences out of ought to, we need the formula. We provided you 3 formula that you need to use in order to make a sentence. The first one would be the affirmative one. Subject plus ought to plus verb plus object or adverb. The negative sentence, subject plus ought not to plus verb plus object or adverb. And then the interrogative, ought plus subject plus to plus verb plus object or adverb. Next, we are going to talk about the next quasi-modal verb, which is used to. Used to is used to express previous or past habit. For example, I used to eat a lot. I used to eat a lot here means that I, in the past, eat a lot. But in the present, I don't eat that much. Now, used to is not the same as be used to. Used to state that about previous habits that I have done in the past. Meanwhile, be used to state activities that I have been accustomed with. The formula is also very simple here. It is very similar to the last, which is the ought to formula. There we have the affirmative, the negative, and also the interrogative. The difference is that we need the used to and also we use the infinitive. Now I'm going to talk about the would rather. Would rather is used to express preferences. He would rather have a coffee than a milkshake. It means that he prefers coffee over a milkshake. Now, would rather has its own contraction. So the contraction of would rather would be apostrophe D with rather. For example, I would rather, it becomes simplified into I'd rather. Contraction like this are not recommended for the third person subject. For example, names. Now for the formula, it is also the same and also very simple. You can see it in here. We have the affirmative, negative, and also the interrogative. Last but not least, we are going to talk about had better. So had better is used to express advisability or recommendation. You'd better use your umbrella in rainy season. It is an advice or recommendation. Next, had better is used to express obligation and duty. For example, I'd better be studying right now. It is obligated for you to study right now because you have an exam tomorrow. So had better also has its own contraction and informal form. Had best is its informal form. For example, you'd best leave now. Now for the formula, it is very similar to the models before it. We have the affirmative, negative, and also interrogative. The difference is that we need had better and also we use infinitive and not the wild verb.